Alright, so you're wandering through the internet. Entertainment levels are low. You both are about to die of boredom. What do you want to do?
I look for a cool new podcast.
Yeah, and I assist. Alright, give me an investigation check. Oh yeah, and roll with advantage.
Drunk day, can't remember. I wake up. Not quite sure where I am, but there's some elves here. I recognize one of them. They mention a genie, which angers me. It's time for some revenge. I diplomatize, something like that, and we approach. I defeat Maylock in one-on-one combat while he threatens my kin. Cue the hero music. My curse is broken.
When you think of the Sword Coast, the Trackless Sea is like the northern half of that ocean bit up there. So it's a very large area. You guys basically from that information know that it's a giant swath, but you also know that King Hikatan has been abducted. So from the Masters meeting, you knew that he went missing, but now what was in question at the meeting of the Masters was he missing because of grief over his recently dead wife, Queen Neri, or did something actually happen to him? And another speculation was maybe it was because of the Ordning getting shattered. You guys do know that he's been captured by the Kraken Society and is held on a ship somewhere around the Trackless Sea.
You get a hook, and you get a hook, and you get a hook.
All the hooks.
So, Gideon.
Hi.
What's your not cursed axe do?
Right. Ooh.
We can go test it out.
Yeah. Do you want to test it out with me?
So
Nice.
I can call on my ancients, Kinians that came before me from the what is it? The Valley Chiefs, where all the statues are, and the chiefs will come to my aid.
Oh, that's right. You haven't seen this. That's what they explored last.
So these are all statues. These are the Kinians before me. Mm-hmm. Or I took a piss right here.
Classy.
Yeah.
He gets up to 10, so it basically works like a silver one, which actually worked out perfectly because there are 9 statues, and then Kinian, the original betrayer, which is the one that brought the axe, the curse upon the axe.
So I make our party size go, like temporarily. So I think they last for an hour.
They last a long time.
Damn.
I don't remember.
I was thinking like 10 rounds or something.
I think they last for an hour, but then I can't use it again for another week.
Mm.
Yep.
But basically, like
7 days.
When the shit goes down, I'd be like, call on my ancestors, and then all of a sudden a bunch of berserker ghosts go next to me, and one Kinian becomes many Kinians.
Now, my question.
And then we murder face.
Are they drunk in Valhalla? Like, are we gonna get drunk Kinian ancestors?
We have drunk Kinian. We may as well have drunk
They
Kinian
all show
ancestors.
up and they're just kind of like leaning on things. They're like, whoa. It's a big like chain of ghosts like falling slightly further apart.
Last week I got hit in the shoulder with an arrow and I fell over because I was drunk and then dropped my drink.
Oh no.
That was my reaction. I didn't attack. I kind of like, oh!
So, we are looking at Kinian. And Kinian, you are in the mess hall. Tim, you might even be there too. But Minette and Palami are down in the workshop messing around with the...
Whoa there.
Whoa.
Whoa there.
tinkering with...
Whoa there.
Not better.
I don't think I'm part of that. I think I'm with Kenyon.
They're working on the periop of healing.
Okay.
Or wound closure. But you two are up in the mess hall with the crew. You, Kenyon, you're taking it in and you're realizing like kind of how much the ranks have grown, right? You're seeing 8 people down in this area, in this mess hall. Skinny and Fatso are cooking up a storm in the kitchen, and you're sitting there at a table just kind of drinking along, and the tabaxi, Lola, walks up to you and sits down and says, fancy a game of cards?
Cards. Dice? Cards? Yeah.
And she turns and shouts to Tim, and she's like, would you like to play some cards too, miss?
Certainly.
And she waves over Robbie, one of the deckhands, and you guys are sitting there playing a game of cards. It's a common card game for Faerun. There's a little bit of betting.
A lot of drinking.
Lots of drinking. And there's a lot of talking going on. You guys are just kind of getting to know some of the new recruits, which is Robbie and Lola. How much do you guys want to bet?
Well, I'm pretty good at cards, so I'm probably going to bet a decent amount.
Kenyon?
Well, Kenion's feeling a little bit silly after giving his brother 1,000 gold.
And a horse.
And a horse. I'm keeping it friendly.
Okay.
So friendly, in fact, that Tanuvial notices that I get up from the table briefly, and I put my battle axe on a hook next to the door, and then come back and sit down at the table.
Now, on a hook, do you mean like you just chop it into the wall?
No, I've got weapon
an axe hook.
Hooks.
Okay.
So I set it in there.
He's not entirely uncivilized.
Yes.
It was weighing me down.
So how much are you betting?
After I lose 50 gold, I'm sort of done because I've got things on my mind.
Okay.
I've got ideas I got to discuss with Minette.
Okay. So you're topping out at 50,
Yeah.
and I think Lola's more than willing to call it at 50, considering that's most of her like monthly wage.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be friendly.
Yeah. So we'll say on the table is 200 gold pieces,
Okay.
50 from each. So what I want to do is a contested. Let's do. What would a good check be for that?
Probably a straight 20. Unless somebody's got proficiency.
I have proficiency.
Ooh.
I don't
That's
have
what I was saying.
proficiency.
I'm actually good at it as this character.
I only am good at
What?
dice.
There's gamble. Oh, you're
Playing cards.
Yeah.
nice.
So she'd get a proficiency bonus
Yeah.
on top of the straight.
Yeah, so
playing
after-
cards.
Straight roll plus proficiency.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Sounds good. Okay.
Now what proficiency is
It's just the
So
plus 4.
are you like a card shark? Is this something like you did in the guards? Like you were just like you put on like your green visor and you're just like, hey, here we go.
She's got like sunglasses. You know, the cleric of light, gets pretty bright. So she's got some like Lathander bands that she's put on.
Well, I mean, we need to fund the Holy War somehow.
Yeah.
No, I like to play the whole. I don't do the whole like that's
Yeah.
No. Let them think I'm just some idiot at the game.
You're sandbagging them?
And I am some idiot
Not
at the game.
entirely. I'm just not going to be forthcoming at the beginning.
Yeah. Can you teach me how to play? I don't remember how to play this game.
No, see, not what are the rules of the game. Just
Yeah.
gosh, I don't know what I should do. More of that kind of thing.
This is a good
Nice.
play.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wins the pot.
Nice.
No direct lying, but
All right, so we're gonna do just a straight up one contested roll, and that'll cover most of the time.
Stupid dice.
Well, Lola got a nat 1. So, the first hand, Lola just goes, I'm all in. And she just puts all her money in. And she's got a pair. And what did everybody else get?
15.
15?
Well, I thought it was stupid because it was hidden, but then I actually looked at it. So I have 20 with proficiency.
And so everybody's just kind of forced to put all in. And Robbie flips 2 pairs. And Kenyon flips a full house. And and Tin, you've got a flush. How do you want to lay it down?
What makes up a flush?
A flush. This one's a royal flush, so it's
You like-
10 to
Okay, 10 to kings.
ace or-
You're like, all red.
when they're suited, is that good?
Yeah. I like that.
Okay. And
Because I don't actually play the game.
yeah. And you get 200 gold pieces. And Lola as well is like, wow, shit.
And I take a drink from my flagon. And I take a hand axe and I kind of like absentmindedly like throw it at the
Okay.
wall. Like,
Is there like a Kenyan spot in the wall?
yeah, just the wall.
Yeah. Oh, just
It's
any
the
wall.
wall.
There's like a few different
Okay.
clusters that
Yeah.
have more, but yeah, it's just pretty much everywhere spread across.
Just kind of like a flick, just kind of like a lazy throw.
Okay. Like the whole mess hall just kind of like stops real quick and like checks to make sure nobody was in the path, and then they go back to talking. And it gets going again. And Robbie, just kind of this. He's a lanky human. He's very unassuming, but he does a lot of the ropes on the deck, which is just very surprising. He's very strong for his looks. And he says, wow, that game went a lot faster than I thought it was going to. I'm going to be off. And he just, he leaves. And Lola turns to Kenyon and says, so, where are we off to, boss? Lucky says that we're heading towards the coast, but...
Well, you know, when this all gets done, there's got to be some pillaging for me. We got to take care of these frost giants.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I bet they're causing havoc down for the trades. That was a big reason why I stopped trading. But yeah, she, like, leans in a little bit and says, you know, boss, I don't trust that Brickle one. I see him talking to himself every once in a while. He's an odd fellow. I wouldn't take orders from him. That's why I ask where we're going from you. Lucky seems to have accepted taking orders from this gnome. I'm with you, sir.
That's good to hear.
And she turns to Tin and she says, so, tell me about your time in the watch. I hear from the crew that you were once a guard for Waterdeep. That must have been fantastic. Exciting, even.
It was for a couple of decades.
You elves.
But the city started becoming a bit corrupt. Those with money could buy their way out of their punishments for their crimes, and it was just getting old. So
See Kenyon kind of like fidgeting with a hand axe at the table. I attempt to flick it with my finger to see if I can get it to stick to the wall. Clatters noisily against the ground.
The Tabaxi, she says, that's very exciting. I once lived a life of excitement for a short while. I was on a trading ship. We would circle around these isles, the Isles of Purple Rock. It was an exciting trip. We saw many people, traded with many walks of life. We even traded with this queen one time. She was a fantastic giant. She was a storm giant. very nice to us. She took a liking to us. She had a daughter named Sarissa. Very kind daughter, indeed. And when you talk to those kind of beings, you get like this feeling of power, but at the same time, she gave this gentle feeling like you could be safe around her. It was a nice time meeting her. Especially with all the problems giants have been posing as of late. It's good to know that there's some good giants out there. Hashtag not all giants.
I'm sorry, that hashtag will never get old.
Suddenly, you see Kenyon spring up. Yeah. And scuttle off, grabbing my axe as I leave the mess hall, slamming the door behind me.
Okay. And where are you going?
I'm headed down to Minette's.
Okay. Are you following?
I'll trade stories with Lola.
Okay. What kind of stories are you trading today?
Just stories about her interesting adventures when she was doing that trading, and then random stories of when I was at the lodge, since that seems to have piqued her interest.
Yeah. She's very interested. She asks a lot about the Griffin cavalry riders, though you weren't part of that. She doesn't seem to get it, almost like a fangirl, right? Like she doesn't get that you weren't in the cavalry, but she keeps asking about the cavalry, trying to get some sort of fun war stories that you might have even heard. And here and there, she likes to talk about like some of the cool information that she picked up. She talks about how she used to sail for a time down by a area of the world called Cholt, and how there's dinosaurs down there, and these big reptilian creatures, longer than a boat, and they'd be swimming in the oceans, and how this one town races these dinosaurs, and about this race of people that look like turtles but are bipedal and they walk around. She gets into that, and she loves talking about the different walks of life that she got to see on her travels, and she lets you know that she really hopes to continue that, and that's why she likes to travel, and that's why she signed up with the ship. Kenyon, you're off to Minette, is that what you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you knock?
No,
or do you
no.
just barge in?
I just like cram her right into the door.
Hi guys. So you barge in, and at the moment that you barge in is the moment we left off last time. Minette and Plummy are hunched over this period. They are just turning their head to look at this conch shell that is sitting on top of the workbench. And this conch shell is a very large conch shell, about as big as a football. And it's quite hefty, and it's starting to glow. It starts off giving off this sound of the sea, and which is usually something you have to hold up to your ear to hear. But it's starting to permeate from the shell. And then you hear this horn blast, a very long, drawn-out horn blast, and then a short blast, and another short blast, and a drawn-out blast again. It's a succession of blasts. Minette, you're sitting there listening to it, and Plummy, she says, "That sounds almost like a pattern." What do you do after you barge into the door and you see this?
I like immediately forget what I was going to say to Minette.
Okay.
And I just walk over and pick up the conch.
The magic.
You go to pick it up, and Plummy's like, "Now, Gideon, hold on. That's very magical." Boop. And you touch it, and like you look at her just like dead in the eyes, and just touch it, and nothing happens. It's still letting out this noise.
I grab it.
Okay. Would you make a history or an investigation check? Depending on... Well, actually, you're going to make a investigation check for me, please, Kenyon. And then Minette, I need a history check from you.
9.
11.
11? Okay, so, Kenyon, you can't place, you can't seem to figure out what this shell is doing or how to turn it off. Minette, it is killing you. You cannot figure out where you've heard this before. It's eating at you, but you know it's a pattern and you know it's very familiar.
Can I investigate it instead?
Yeah, absolutely.
My passive investigation
Okay.
is 19.
Oh, really?
So
So do you, like, just grab it
just
from
like,
Kenyon?
yeah.
Ah! But before he grabs it, I put my lips on and go. Try to like blow the conch.
He's blowing into the wrong side though, like on the fat end.
Yep.
And
Naturally.
and you're like, you just snatch it away from him, and you investigate this, and you think Kenyon was onto something. You think if you blow into the horn end, something might trigger, and you also while you're like looking at it, it clicks. This is a ancient form of communication that towns and ships use in lieu of magic when they don't have wizards or items on board. You can use these successions of fast and slow beats or light or anything like that to communicate something.
Morse code?
Morse code. Yeah. Sir Morris created this. And actually, a funny story is you can recall meeting him. Oh, cool. You can recall meeting him. He was a very old wizard at the tower.
Gnome, right?
What?
Gnome, right?
No, unfortunately not. He was an elf. He died while you were young at the tower. This elf was very old. But from your memory, Sir Morris was not a bad person at all. He usually told the boring stories, but he did no harm.
Okay.
So what you gather from this is you can't place what the words mean. They just seem jumbled. You have written down this code, and you found the repeating point. And so you're able to decipher where it starts, but you don't think you understand the language. You know it's in Dwarvish, or at least that's the kind of like basics it hails from.
Language family?
Yeah, language family, but it's got kind of that feeling of maybe giant to it.
When the conch is taken from me,
Yeah,
and I see him like actually doing work,
yeah. And he's like scribbling things down.
I slam the door, and you hear me like back up to the mess hall, and slam into that door, and grab my alchemy jug, and tin.
We gotta go, Tin!
That shell.
Cast comprehend
Words.
languages.
That
Words.
glowing, blasting.
Okay.
Minette.
Okay, let's go to Minette.
Minette fell down a well!
And I grab my hand axe,
Okay.
shove it into my belt. I look around. Did she leave any of the gold on the table?
Did Tin?
No.
Probably not. She probably like scooped it into her bag.
Oh yeah,
I'm
I've
like,
already.
Right after the
I'm like-
cards.
Damn it. And I storm back toward Minette's with my stein
Okay.
and the alchemy jug.
Start pouring them out.
And I just start sitting there,
Yeah.
pouring them out. Offer one to Palami.
Okay. Yeah, she takes it. She's like sipping on this stein of ale and is trying to help you decipher. And you finally are stumped, and you're like, you know what? And then that's when you cast comprehend languages. Tin, before you leave the mess hall, Lola grabs your hand real quick, and she says, what about the other two? What about Keo and Bon? I think Keo's up in the crow's nest still.
Keel's nest.
The Kio's nest. I keep forgetting, and no one knows where Bon is. Think I should go get them?
Wouldn't hurt.
Okay. And she is off like a cat. Just like. So, comprehend languages. You, Minette, get this out of the message. It reads in giant. The giant lords are summoned. Come immediately by the decree of Storm Queen Sarissa.
That name means nothing to me. Ain't she dead?
Are you still downstairs and I'm still making my way over?
You are just entering the room as Minette has finished reading this and is trying to figure out what it means.
What was the name of that Storm Queen?
I write down the translation.
In common?
In common.
Okay.
I can't read it.
Oh, did you say it out loud or you just wrote it out?
I mean, I
Probably
read it and then was like, okay, may as well copy this down for later reference.
I take this opportunity, like while he's busy, to look at his stuff, to see if I can do it without being noticed. Approaching his tinkering.
Oh, are you picking
like
up
out of curiosity?
Stuff? Yeah,
like touching. Don't touch that.
Well, you're like,
How did you even know? Because he's not even like looking at me.
no, he's looking away. His head's down and like writing.
Because I don't see you.
And it got real quiet.
And I like slink back into my drinking corner.
That's awesome.
And you hear me mutter, "It's my boat. My boat.
My workshop. Don't touch that.
So
where'd you get this message from? This.
Well, the conch is still going.
Oh, it's still.
yeah, it's on a loop.
But isn't it still in like the Morse?
Yes. And they show you the like dots and dashes of it, and then the translation.
I'm making like a game out of this. I'm like taking drinks to the beeps.
Oh my gosh.
Like you're hearing slurping noises that are like in harmony with the beeps.
I just don't even say anything.
It's not a surprise.
Storm Queen Sarissa is what it says?
Yep. Explains it all.
Well, Lola was just telling me about Storm Queen, but I'm pretty sure she said that the Storm Queen's daughter was Sarissa. So things must have changed. Maybe we can get some more information from her. She might be able to help us know what to do.
Sure. Don't have that.
Kinian retracts his hand.
So what do you guys want to do?
Probably go back to the mess hall to wait for Lola to bring back Keo and Bon if she can find them. And
Okay.
Are we in the midst of traveling?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. You guys are on the way to
To the sea.
yeah.
That's right.
Yep.
We got close to the sea, and then the conch started going on.
Yep.
All right, Kinian, you can touch this. I hand him the finished Periapt.
Okay.
I put it around my neck and I start making like fireball gestures and stuff. I'm like, da da da. What's this do?
It's gonna help you not die.
Ah!
I'll
Alright.
go through and explain its use, but it is totally shaped like a bow tie.
Very nice.
classy.
I put it on and like slick my hair back. Give a little pelvic thrust once or twice with my hands on my head. And resume drinking.
You're definitely going to bring all the ladies to the table like that, Kinian.
Classing up this place.
Yeah, I'll explain the rest of
Yep,
it to
yep.
him as we walk, and it does require attunement, but I don't know what the status of your.
Take a quick rest and be all right. Okay, so you guys head down to the mess hall. Lola comes back and she says,
Well, I found Keo, but he said that he needs to keep watch. I cannot find Bon anywhere. I can't even find that stupid bear of his.
Kenyon, are you sure we didn't leave Bon behind? Okay.
He can fly, right? I've seen it happen.
Bon will be fine.
He disappears sometimes, so
10.
I'm sure things are fine.
Polani says, what does this mean? What are we gonna do? Is this like a compass?
So the conch message again was,
Giant lords are summoned by Storm Queen Sarissa.
Yep, come immediately by the decree of Storm Queen Sarissa.
so we don't have coordinates though.
It is magical, though, right?
I'll give it a little blow. A little toot.
Okay. Yeah, so...
Cautiously.
okay. You just kind of put it up to your mouth and just... when you do, you disappear. And the conch drops to the ground.
I try to catch it.
Okay, Dex.
At disadvantage because I'm a borderline
Little
blotto.
inebriated.
That was a 13.
A 13? Yeah, you catch it. Yep.
Yeah.
I always seem to be in this.
I'm on the ground,
You just
and I see him disappear, and I'm like, ha ha! The wrong end again.
Kenyon, I don't think this is good. Lola, I remember you talking about Shul, and then you were talking about this land or islands. Where was it that you had met the Storm Queen again?
Purple rocks.
Purple Rocks.
Yes.
I didn't listen.
So she says purple rocks, and Kenyon disappears, and the conch drops, and it falls to the ground.
Oh my gosh.
It doesn't smell quite as drinky with me being gone.
Yeah, Kenyon's gone, and
it smells less of alcohol.
yeah, it no longer smells like a tap room in here. It's quite nice, actually.
You can
Like,
actually
there's
smell the food.
Yeah, there's some food smell, a little bit of cedar. It's not bad.
So I'm now faced with the choice of disappearing somewhere unknown to find out where they are, or just aimlessly try to find them wherever they are. I think I will... Huh?
I got my axe, so I'm good.
I think that would be a reasonable thing, though,
yeah.
because I mean, Manette doesn't walk around with his gun.
Well, and yeah, here's my logic path. Kenyon, I know, has his axe, but he's also very drunk right now, and I'm concerned about his ability to take care of Manette, because Manette is not going to buy the rush to things, but then, oh yeah, he doesn't have his weapons on him. So I tell Lola that I'm going to blow into the conch and hopefully go wherever they are, and for her to let Keo know, tell him about Storm Queen Sarissa and the Purple Rocks, in case that is where we end up appearing if we don't come back within like an hour.
Okay.
And then I grab Manette's gear and come back to blow on the conch.
Okay. And
so
you
I
do
can save them from whatever they've gotten themselves into.
You might want to wipe that conch first.
Yeah.
Just saying.
You might get drunk.
Yeah. you go to like inhale, but you inhale too close to the conch, and you just get like this real bad smell of alcohol off of it, and then you inhale like away from it, and then you blow on it, and everything goes dark.
That was nice playing with you guys.
Yep. And that's how I killed 3 of them. No, everything goes dark, and
Roll some new characters.
Yeah, and your vision comes to. It is. You 3 are in a damp area, and it is dark. Not so dark that you couldn't see without night vision, but it is dim. There is these blue shells that are up on the walls, kind of like stanchions, and they are glowing with a light blue dwemer. And you're looking around. When you look down, you are on top of a golden sigil that is just letting this like dim gold light pulse up into the air, and it's kind of playing off of your guys' features. Looking around, you see it almost looks like a turret, like a castle turret, coming out of this coral wall, and it has like this almost purple marble floor, and the steps are these purple marble as well. It is a staircase that is wrapping its way up this turret, going upwards. You see 2 hallways in this area as well, one to the left and one to the right of you, and then you also see a giant puddle next to this turret, and it is inky black. After taking all of this in, you all experience your ears popping, and you feel this like you've been used to this feeling of like an outward expansion from flying so high. Mm-hmm. Now you're feeling this like claustrophobic compression. You are
deep down.
Probably deep down.
Okay.
You definitely feel the pressure on you. What would you like to do?
So she shows up with all my gear.
Oh yeah,
I put my armor on.
Okay, you're just like choo.
I walk over to the steps.
Thank you.
I walk over.
You're hugging her knees.
I walk over to the steps and like set down my pack real quick and start rooting around in it.
Okay.
To pull out more clothing.
Okay.
So I'm pulling out my basically my marsh traveler's clothes and like taking my armor off real quick and putting another layer on.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it is a little cool down here. And while you're over by the steps, you're hearing this like just absolutely beautiful music echoing down the stairs. It's got kind of the syncopated beat. It's very jazz-like. What you're hearing sounds a lot like a pipe organ being played very smooth, and you hear a voice singing over this pipe organ.
I turn to the net and go, I've heard of this captain before. Captain Nemo. We're on the Nautilus.
So I just ignore that for a minute. I'm just not even gonna respond. With a passive perception of 19 and looking around the room, am I seeing anything besides what's been described to us to give an idea of where we are? Like, were the walls made out of stone?
Coral. Yep. So it's very stone-like.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine it to be almost like purple pumice, where it's got those pores in it, but it's still hard and nothing's leaking through it, so it's got to be solid somewhere.
Okay. I probably don't recognize that material.
No.
And we're just like, there's just one way to go from where we appeared?
There's 2 hallways. Just kind of circling around this room and taking a a look down both those hallways, you see these very large statues. They are giant-sized statues, so they are bigger than the giants you have experienced so far. And these statues have like these shell helmets, and they've got like these long, like coral, like spears with all these barnacles on them and stuff like that. There's real barnacles at the bottom of these statues, and you see a couple of doorways down one passage. The doorways are sized for medium-sized creatures. Down the other passage, they are sized for giants.
Say we explore the hallway with medium-sized doorways.
Yeah, that sounds safer.
Okay.
So yeah, let's go investigate that medium-sized door. And let's do so quietly if we can.
I raise an eyebrow. I'm like, I'm the master of stealth. And you see me like, I'm the master of stealth. Like, you see me like clinking and clanking my potion collection together, and I'm like, this is the one. And I pull out a potion. I've got it in my hand at the ready. Like,
Three.
and you see Kinian get a little too large for the medium hallways.
God damn it.
was it a
Potion of growth.
nice?
I am now a large and in charge Kinian. I can fit. I can fit. And now, but and
Squeeze.
I'm like, this was a great. Oh.
I don't know about the
Fortunately-
in charge part, but
So, fortunately, down this hallway, the hallway is still tall enough, but I imagine this happens, like, as you guys are walking through one of the cracked open doors, the medium-sized doors, so Kinian, like, finishes this, and he's like, and he grows, and he slams right into the door frame, and is, like, rubbing his scalp, as he dips in.
would this have been loud
genius.
enough for people to hear?
It's
our way?
loud, but you don't hear any footsteps coming your
Okay.
way or anything like that. It's a pretty quiet area, other than that smooth jazz coming down the turret.
Smooth jazz.
Smooth jazz.
Yes, flute.
You enter this room, and this room has a similar shell stanchion, giving off this blue Dwemer light, and these quarters are very nice. There's beds for all sizes of creatures, up to medium size. There is a table in the center of this room, so imagine like beds lining the outer wall, and then in the center is like this big table where a very nice spread of fruits and fishes, dried fish, are like laid out for guests. There's some cheese, mostly blue cheese, and there are some trunks at the end of each bed. Each one is open, ready for people to just put their stuff in for the night or whatever.
Well, I don't think our hosts are kobolds, considering this food spread.
True. Very true.
I start eating food.
Okay. It's delicious. It is very, very good.
Hopefully it's not poison.
I grab a little cheese.
Okay.
Something that's not blue cheese.
Okay. And some bread or something like that. Okay.
I'm
yeah.
gonna wait 5 minutes before I touch anything.
So you let the boys just eat the food and see what comes out of it.
And
They volunteered.
Yep, that's right.
I'm bragging about how much more I can eat now, as like you see me just like
Just
shoving everything in.
All right. You wait 5 minutes while they're chowing down, and they look like
don't
they're
die.
enjoying a meal. They're alive.
We
They
don't
don't
die.
seem to need killing. Yeah.
Yes, another meal.
No
survived.
spell or poison has befallen them.
No, not that you can tell.
Okay, is there anything else we can explore down here?
You could explore the larger room, the one sized
But-
for giants if you'd like.
But like this is a dead end.
Yeah. This
bedding
hallway
type.
dead ends into one of the statues.
Now my alchemy jug was left behind.
Oh no.
Is there wine?
There is a bottle of wine if you'd like to take it.
I'd take it with me.
Okay. Yeah.
We can't have you go through withdrawal.
That is true.
It's my
Hangover
to-go
would be a really bad idea, right?
That's actually why Kenyan drinks so much, is he's afraid of the hangover.
The cumulative hangover. Yeah.
I might just die.
I should have thought to bring some
Relentless endurance of half-orcs does nothing for that either. It's just, you don't survive it.
Maybe that should be considered like part of our emergency rations.
Is beer?
Yeah.
Fair. So
I'm going to check out the Giant's room real quick.
Yeah.
Just to see if there's anything different.
So you're checking out the giant room, and there's a few beds here, 4 of them, to be precise, and each one is made very nicely, but the chests are closed at the end of the beds, and there is a storeroom door that is cracked open inside of this room, and it's got all the toiletries, extra blankets, and stuff like that. That's where all the food is being stored and stuff like that for the entire area down here. Yeah, that's about it. It's very, very tidy.
Was?
What are you doing to it?
I'm going through the room, man.
Oh God. Yeah. So what do you want to do?
Stealthily.
Meaning not stealthily.
Ransacking the place.
Oh gosh, okay. Roll a investigation for me, please.
I'm great at that. 16.
16. You find a cloak of white dragon scales. It looks sized for a giant, and they are very, very cold.
I cast Detect Magic.
Yeah. When you detect magic on it, it has very natural magic. You think that these white dragon scales are giving some sort of resistance to cold to anyone who's attuned to it, but you don't believe it is a magical item per se. Okay. You don't think it would resize or anything like that. This is just what dragon scales would give off.
I just put it on.
And it's like, it looks almost like Keo in his red robe. Like it's a little too long.
I'm large size.
But he's not
giant.
Oh. Yeah. So it's a little long on you. You're just a little too short.
Head towards the turret.
Okay.
I guess.
That's where the music's coming from?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That seems to be our only option, so.
Okay. This turret is right next to the large puddle. The puddle is bigger than the area that the turret looks like. And like I said, it's a deep, inky black.
How big is it exactly?
It is...
Yeah, a large puddle.
Yep.
I would say
1,
puddles
2,
are small.
3, 4. Yeah, it's like a small pond. It's like 40 feet in diameter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like something like 4 feet around.
No. Sorry. Compared to everything else in this area, though,
yeah,
it's smaller.
Comparatively,
yes. So, you guys want to go up the turret?
What's this pond?
It's a pond. It's inky black, and it's just this water right next to the turret.
So
I'm gonna investigate it.
Is there a small stone around that I could chuck into this thing?
Yeah. This,
Don't disturb the water.
I'd rather disturb it with a stone than with my body.
True. So you can find along the outside edges, like by the statues, some stones. Otherwise, this place is immaculate. It's a very, very clean area. Just places where giants couldn't get to. Yeah. So you find a stone, and what do you want to do? You check it in there, and the ripples move outward from the impact, and nothing happens. The stone disappears into the inky blackness.
Like, Kinian's dumb. But
like Kinian's real dumb.
But do I think, like, the cloak is going to affect my swimming capabilities?
Yeah. You You would think so, yes. I mean, you're a pirate, right?
Yeah.
So, like, you would know the more clothes you have on, the heavier you're going to get.
I drop the cloak,
Okay?
unbutton my dragon slaying breastplate,
Yep.
and set it down with the cloak.
So I probably still got detect magic going.
Mm-hmm.
Do I detect anything out in this area?
No. What are you doing?
I dive in.
You dive in? Just...
Yes.
All right. Do you want to try and swim to the bottom? Is that...
I want to look around, see
And
if
you
I
have
can
dark
find anything.
vision, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah, we all do.
So you look around under the water, and you can see that it bottoms out at about 60 feet, and near the bottom, it kind of funnels towards a hole just off of center. And looking down that little hole, you can't see anything because it kind of goes in and goes up slightly, so you can't see anything down that
So it's like
tunnel.
like an aquifer of some type.
Quite possibly.
So
Did you want to try swimming down there?
I didn't see any shinies.
No, but you don't see any animals either.
It's just water.
Yeah, it's a 40 foot diameter by 60 feet deep. Did you want to try and swim down there?
I resurface.
Uh huh.
I go to my pack
Yeah.
and I say, I didn't see any monsters, but there's a hole down there. I'll be back, guys. And I pop another potion.
Is that a water breathing?
Yeah.
Okay. So
And I dive back in.
yeah,
And
like
swim down.
like Kevin Costner, you start. This is Kevin Costner,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Waterworld.
Yep. you've got gills that start to spring up behind your ears. You swim down. It takes them a little bit, but when you swim down to this tunnel, you follow it just about 10 or 15 feet, and you come to portcullis in this tunnel. And when you look beyond the portcullis, you see a whirlpool that is going. It is just circling, and there's all this shipwreckage, and you see a whole bunch of treasure and bones and boats of ancient make. You see 4 other tunnels, boom, 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 all with portcullis down. The whirlpool stops, and when it does, all this debris starts to like just kind of hang in the air or in the water, and you can see at the bottom a grate, like with iron grating, where the water goes down, and then you see these hulking crabs come out from one of the tunnels to your right, and they start picking through all of the wreckage, and they're gathering all these shiny things, and they head back towards their tunnel, and the portcullis shuts.
So they went through a portcullis into a tunnel and grabbed the goodies out?
Yeah. So the portcullis for them opened. They came out. They grabbed all the goodies from the whirlpool area after the whirlpool stopped, and then they went back, and the portcullis shut.
And now there's no goodies.
There might be a few things here and there, but you definitely couldn't get to them.
So I don't want to like try to open the portcullis, but I want to try to figure out how
it works. Okay. Give me a investigation or perception.
Perception, please. 12?
12. So you think that there might be a internal mechanism in these reef walls that controls it going up and down, not unlike the portcullis that you got caught in at NM's the Allfather's area, where you slathered up in all that.
Oh
And I didn't remember how to control that though. It was like
Right.
frosted over or something.
Right, yeah, but the mechanism was internal, so it had to be opened somewhere else.
Gotcha. Well, I returned to the group.
Okay, relay all
And,
this information.
And how cold am I at this point?
You're pretty cold.
Tunuvial turns to Kenyon and I say, it was nice that you updated us on everything being okay before you went further. Thanks for being a team player.
Go team. I am sober as hell.
Yeah, it's super cold, and when Kenyon gets out of the water, Kenyon, you don't realize it right away,
because it's just so cold. You guys see it. He's starting to produce some bruises, some bruising along his chest.
Ew.
Kinian, you take 7 points of bludgeoning damage from the pressure the water was crushing down on you.
Damn.
I get up, kind of like shake myself like a dog, and put my clothes back on. And at this point, I put the giant dragon scale cloak around me like a giant burrito scarf.
Yeah. Yeah. Cup and a blanket.
Yes. Yep. And I'm basically like chattering in my metal right now, like, there was shipwrecks and crabs. You would have loved it. There was crabs. They took the treasure.
I would have loved the crabs.
You love killing crabs.
Oh, yes. That, yes.
Minette, there was like a water collection grate or something. There was 4 tunnels. They all had porcupines. They all had gates. They had gates blocking them. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of pressure. I was getting sucked into the gate. And then the pressure stopped. And the crabs came out and they took all the shinies. They were so shiny.
Oh my gosh. Oh. A+ reference there.
And yeah.
Now it's stuck in my head.
I didn't think I could get to them. But there's treasure down here. As I readjust the cloak. Despite some investigation techniques, there is treasure down here. Cheddar, cheddar.
Okay, so this turret.
Yeah.
Are there? You said something about stairs.
Yep. It is basically it's basically just a circular stair path.
And the stairs are on the other side of this big pond thing.
You don't have to traverse the pond. The pond and the stairs sit next to each other. I mean, you could be standing right in the doorway of this turret, just listening to the smooth jazz.
Okay.
While you
I want to
wait.
go explore that place.
Okay. Sounds good. You make your way up this very large staircase. It's actually it's very nice because this staircase has 2 different steps.
Step height.
Step heights, yes. So the inner ring is sized for medium creatures, and then the outer ring stairs is sized for giants, so larger creatures.
And I'm splitting the difference.
Yeah.
This is a very they're very focused on accessibility and
yeah. They're very accommodating.
No, they don't want to get
they're
sued.
ADA compliant.
Yeah.
Whatever the equivalent is in Faerun.
Favorite ADA.
So you guys climb these stairs, and as you do, the smooth jazz is getting louder. And you reach the top of these stairs, and you're looking through this doorway and into this very large area. I mean, you'd say this is probably a couple hundred feet wide room, so a couple hundred feet in diameter. Let me just paint the scene for you. So there are massive shelves for tables placed all around this area, with a giant-sized fountain in the center, with a storm giant holding a conch shell, and there's water spewing up into the air, and it splits apart like a fountain would, and there are giants just casually. They walk over and scoop up some water in their conch shell, and they're sipping it at these tables. And there's a fire giant there talking with a cloud giant, and a hill giant that's off in the corner just engorging itself with all this buffet of food. There's a frost giant here, and you see, parallel from you guys, the outer edge of this room ramps up to a stage. And on this stage is 2 storm giants. One storm giant is absolutely white from head to toe. White hair, white skin, white clothes. And the clothes she's wearing is like a toga almost. It's just one large flowing sheet. And she has these 2 whale bones, and her back is towards you and the dinner guests. And she looks out through this crystal window into the depths of the sea outside. And she's pounding on this gigantic crab in front of her. And it's got like these different colored barnacles and things like that on this crab. And she keeps striking these in different ways. And the crab seems to be tickled by it, letting loose some air into these pipes that are on the outside parts of the crab, creating this pipe organ type effect. Mm-hmm. And she's playing it with grace, but with a lot of energy too. The other storm giant looks very similar to this white one, only it's blue and purple with deep purple hair. She is very gaudy. She's got a headdress made with different corals and different shells and things like that, and she's holding like this coral bouquet up to her chest with this very nice necklace, and she is singing over top of this smooth jazz, and it is a very nice setting. Each one of these shell tables each have like a shell centerpiece that lets this blue dwemer out. I like to envision it almost like those jazz clubs where it's like tiered and everybody's sitting and having drinks and stuff like that. Something
like an amphitheater almost.
Yeah, almost like an amphitheater. And the acoustics in here are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. You've got 2 hallways that lead off of this area. The one to the right is huge, and it's adorned with different reliefs carved into the coral walls of storm giants and things like that, whales and undersea creatures, and then the other hallway is just meh.
Just meh.
Yeah, there's nothing specific about it. No one seems to have noticed you yet.
I'm gonna recast comprehend languages just so it's refreshing.
Okay. So
Can't you just put
do you
the
have the
hat
helm
on?
on?
The hat lets me cast.
Oh,
stuff.
I got you.
It's not just I comprehend language.
Right.
Wearing it.
Okay, fair enough.
I drink the flagon of wine
Okay.
to warm up.
So what do you want to do? The cloud giant and the fire giant they're pretty into talking to each other. The cloud giant is a male and the fire giant is a female. The cloud giant seems to be kind of like leaning back in his chair a little bit, his arm up on the back, and is intent in the conversation, but definitely is contemplating whatever's going on. The fire giant seems to be explaining her point with great fervor. Yeah.
This hall with goodies. I'm gonna go get in trouble. I want to look at the goodies.
What do you mean by that?
You said that
There's
there's
a corridor?
2 hallways,
Yep.
like one that's meh and the one that's non-meh.
Yeah.
I want to go non-meh.
Okay, so you just start walking along the wall. Are you trying to sneak over there?
I mean, I'm walking quietly.
Okay. Give me a stealth check, please.
7.
So you're just kind of walking along the edge of the by the wall, just like you normally would, like you own the place, and you hear like this chair like push out from one of the tables. This loud booming voice calls out. You guys can see a frost giant standing up and pointing towards Kinian. And he says, "That orc! He has my cloak!" Hey everybody, it's Alan, your DM, and I wanted to say thank you from the cast and crew for listening to Roll with Advantage. We really appreciate it. If you feel like you want to support the podcast or even want to get on the podcast and all sorts of different ways, go ahead and check us out at Patreon, patreon.com/rollwithadvantage. We've got all sorts of different support structures that have got fun little things for each of the levels. If you can't support monetarily, comments and subscriptions go a very long ways. So if you could comment in iTunes or on YouTube, that would help out the podcast so much. We also love to interact with our fans. If you use the hashtag #RollWithAdvantage on Twitter, or you can post in our subreddit, we will be happy to engage with you guys. It's a super fun way to get to know some of us, and you get to ask questions about your favorite characters, or about the world, what's going on in the background, stuff like that. We also want to say a big thank you for Incompetech.com and BattleBards for letting us use their music and sound effects. They do a fantastic job, and I highly suggest you guys go check them out. Just beautiful work from everybody there. For a full list of the pieces we use, go ahead and check out the description, and you'll find it there. So, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye!